All right, humans, in this video, we are going to be adding polynomials. So the steps we're going to take are to first distribute if possible. So remember, distribute is the same thing as multiplying. And then step 2, we're going to combine any like terms we have. And then step 3, order them from highest to lowest exponent. This would be standard form if you ever see that on one of your tests. Okay, so ordering from highest to lowest exponent is standard form. Looking at example 1, I see that I do have parentheses, but I don't have any numbers in front. So remember, when we don't see that in math, that's the same thing as a 1, so an invisible 1. So when I distribute by positive 1, all of the values here are going to stay the same, right? 1 times 18 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is still 1. So when you see a plus in the middle and you don't have any numbers in front, it's the same as me just rewriting everything without parentheses. So here I have 18x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1, and then my other set of parentheses plus 10x to the power of 3 plus 4x squared plus x. From here, we're going to combine like terms. There are a lot of different ways to do this, but I like to make a table. And I like to put the table in order from highest to lowest exponent. That way it's already in standard form when I'm done. So when I look across, I am looking for the highest exponent, which is x to the power of 3. So I'm going to write x to the power of 3. Then I'm going to see if I have any x power 2's. I do. And then I'm going to look for just regular x's. I have one of those over here. And then I also have a regular number. So I'm just going to put the number sign here for constants. So now that you have your table, we're going to go ahead and fill it in. And I'm just going to go in order here. So the first number that I see is 18x cubed. So I'm going to put 18 here and I'm done with it. With 2x squared, 2 goes here, so I'm done with this number. And then I have a 1, which goes in my constants, and I am now done with it. Looking at my last 3 terms, I have 10x to the power of 3, so I'm going to put positive 10 here. I have a positive 4x squared, so I'm going to put positive 4 here. And then I have this positive x, so again, remember, when I don't see that number in front, it's a 1, so I'm going to write 1 in my x column here. From here, we're going to tally everything up. So 18 plus 10 is 28. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 1 and 1 are going to stay. And then my very final step here is to title everything with the group that they're in. So 28 belongs to x cubed. So I'm going to write 28 x to the power of 3. 6 belongs to x squared, so I'm going to put positive 6x squared. 1 belongs to x, so I could write 1x, or I could just leave it as x. And then I have my constants, which is a plus 1. So my final answer would be 28x to the power of 3 plus 6x squared plus x plus 1. All right, looking at another one. Here we have 3a minus 4b plus 2c. I don't see anything happening with that first parentheses in terms of a number being multiplied. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring down exactly what I have for that first set. Looking at my right parentheses, here I do have a number in front, so I need to go ahead and distribute that to all 3 terms. So I'm going to have 5a, 5 times 2 is 10, so I'm going to have 10b, and then I'm going to have 5 times 6, which is 30c. From here, I have everything simplified. I don't have any parentheses, so now I'm going to look at all of my groups. So looking in order, we have an A, we have a B, and we have a C. I don't have any constants, so this would be the table that I'm going to use for this problem. Going in order, we have 3a, so I'm going to put a 3 in my first column. I have a negative 4b, so I'm going to write negative 4 here. Then I have a positive 2c, so I'm going to write 2. Looking at my right side, I have 5a, and that's positive, so I'm going to put plus 5. For my b, it's a positive 10, so I'm going to put plus 10. And then for my c, I have a positive 30, so plus 30. Tallying all this up, I have 8 for my a's. Negative 4 plus 10 is a positive 6. 2 plus 30 is 32. So giving all of this with its group name, we have 8 A's plus 6 B's plus 32 C's, and we are done. Looking at example 3, this time we do have a number in front, so I'm going to start with that distribution. So 2 times 4 is 8x to the power of 4. 2 times 2 is 4, and that group was x squared. And then 2 times negative 1 is negative 2x. I'm going to stop here because my parentheses stopped, and now I'm just looking at the right side. Here I don't have any numbers touching the parentheses, so I'm just going to recopy what's inside there. So I have negative 4x to the power of 4 plus x squared plus 3. Looking at my groups here, I see that I have an x to the power of 4. X to the power of 3, I don't see one here, so we're going to move straight to x squared. And then we have x, and then do we have any constants? Yes, we have 1, so I'm going to write the number sign here. So these would be the 4 groups that I'm going to use for this problem. In order, 8x to the power of 4 is going to go in this first group. Then I have 4x squareds. Here I have negative 2x's, so just watch your signs. Then I have a negative 4x to the power of 4, so that goes in that first group. And then here my x squared is a 1, so I'm going to put a positive 1 for my x squared terms. And then my 3 is going to go in my constants. Tallying this up, 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, and negative 2 and 3 stay where they are at. So now writing my final answer with their group names, I have 4x to the power of 4 plus 5x squared minus 2x plus 3, and I am done. All right, looking at example 4, here we don't have anything to distribute. I've got a plus between the parentheses, so I can recopy the parentheses right away. So here we have 6x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared y plus 8y to the power of 3 plus 5x squared y plus 3x squared. So the hardest part with the problems that look like this are finding your groups, because we see lots of letters and we panic. So when we look at this one, we want to keep in mind that standard form is always highest to lowest exponent, and we go in alphabetical order. So when I look at all of the letters that I have here, I see that we have x's and y's. So right now I just want to care about x's. So if I look at my x's, I see that the highest exponent I have is x cubed. So I'm going to go ahead and write x cubed. Then I see that we have x to the power of 2, and I have 2 different ones. I have the group that has the y, and I have the group that has the x. So I want to keep my x's first, so I'm going to keep the pure x squared as my second group, and my third group is going to be that x squared that has the y. From here, I took care of all of my x's, so I can see that I have that 8y cubed left over. So that means my last group here is going to be y to the power of 3. Okay, so feel free to pause if you need to. But again, when you have multiple letters, you're going to just look at one letter at a time, go in order. So x's come before y's. So I looked at all of my x's, and then anything left over, you organize those from highest to lowest as well. So filling this in, we have 6x to the power of 3 in my first group. I have 2x squared y's. Then I have 8y to the power of 3's. All right, then we have 5x squared y's over here, so plus 5. And then we have 3x squared, which goes in that second group. Okay, totaling these all up, we have 6, 3, 7, and 8. So my final answer here would be 6x to the power of 3 plus 3x squared plus 7x squared y plus 8y to the power of 3. And we're done.